Let's take a look at the Georgia Ole Miss game from this past weekend. Number 5 Ole Miss goes down to Athens to play number 9 Georgia. 3:30 game. Game day's in town. Phenomenal atmosphere, sold out crowd. Final score: Georgia 43, Ole Miss 35. Georgia with a comeback win improves to 6-1 overall, 4-1 in the SEC. Ole Miss with the loss falls to 6-1, 3-1 in the SEC. Like I said, final score: Georgia 43, Ole Miss 35. Not what I expected it to be at all. I was expecting it to be a little bit lower scoring, have some more defensive aspects of the game, but that is not what happened. It was an offensive shootout. Both offenses played very well. Gunnar Stockton had a Heisman level game with 5 overall touchdowns. He finished with 26 of 31 passing for 289 yards and 4 passing touchdowns and another rushing touchdown. Lawson Lockey caught 3 receiving touchdowns, and the trio of running backs, Nate Frazier, Josh McCray, and Chauncey Bowens, finished with 221 rushing yards as a team. On the other side, Trinidad Jamlis handled business as well. He finished 19 of 36 for passing for 263 yards and 1 passing touchdown, and 2 additional rushing touchdowns as well for 42 yards. Also, the Ole Miss offense also had 2 rushing touchdowns accounted for Keywan from Keywan Lacey. Both of those offenses played well, but the defenses did not. If this was a game and you like defensive play, this was not the game for you. Georgia finished with 510 yards of total offense and 34 first downs, and Ole Miss finished with 351 yards of total offense for 21 first downs. Completely different game than I expected. No defense was really played until the end. Ole Miss came out hot. Well, let me paraphrase. Georgia came out hot too. Got down the field, got a suspect offensive pass interference, ended up having to take a field goal. Ole Miss came out hot with 3 touchdowns on their first 3 drives. And actually, let me say they scored touchdowns on every drive up until the fourth quarter. They were explosive. Georgia got a field goal at the end of the second quarter to keep it close, 21-20. Right out of half, though, second drive from scrimmage, second play from scrimmage for Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambers throws a 75-yard pass to Stribling, and it looks like Georgia is on the rope from that point on. Ole Miss continues to score. It's back and forth. Ole Miss scores. Georgia scores. We get to the fourth quarter. First drive on the fourth quarter for Georgia. They're moving the ball. They get to a fourth down. It's looking like this is going to be the first stop for Ole Miss on defense. Josh McCray comes in, runs the ball 4th and 1, puts that pile, gets 2 yards, gets the first down, ends up leading to a Georgia touchdown. Ole Miss gets the ball back. Georgia defense gets a 3-and-out. First stop of the game, first punt of the game for either side. They get the ball back to Georgia. Georgia goes down and scores, takes the first lead of the game. They get the ball back to Ole Miss. Georgia defense gets another 3-and-out. It's just back-to-back 3-and-out. They go down the field. Georgia gets the ball back, goes down the field, takes a field goal. Ole Miss gets the ball back. They're down now for the first time really all game. And Georgia defensive line gets up in the air, bats the ball down on fourth down, turnover on down. Georgia kneels out to finish the game. Georgia ended up scoring 17 unanswered points in that fourth quarter to win the game. Like I said, defense is an area of emphasis for both Georgia and Ole Miss. Their D lines have to be active. They've got to be better. Georgia, especially, we know Kirby Smart is known for defenses getting after the ball. I don't care if they don't have the athletes that they had in the past. They've got to be able to scheme them ways, whether it's through stunts, changing the lineup, different packages. They've got to find a way to get to the quarterback and get pressure. We saw that towards the end of the game, but we've got to find a way to start that earlier. They've got to find a way to start that earlier if they're going to be successful. And their secondary also has to play well. They've got to be not giving up third downs, not giving up explosive plays. They've got to be clamped up. Same has got to be said for Ole Miss. We know their corners were their weakness. That's what Georgia attacked. We see they have those yards of total offense. They've got to play better. Secondary and the linebackers for Ole Miss have got to play better. Nonetheless, great game, phenomenal game. Georgia's going into a bye week this week before they play Florida down in Jacksonville the week after this. Ole Miss has another test on the road. They go down to Norman, Oklahoma to play Oklahoma. We know how Oklahoma's D-line is. We'll see if John Mateer is really back in form. He had an all-time low of passing yards this past weekend, but we'll see what happens this week in Oklahoma. That'll be a great matchup, though, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. See what the outcome of that is.